All right, time for a BSI P.S.A. Just real quick regarding CorelDRAW 2022 and DXF files. So today I went through the shop and props to John G. He brought to my attention that some of the shapes were looking kind of funky. And so I'm like, okay, huh. And so kind of not really having an idea, but obviously it has something to do with Corel because that's where our shapes come from. And so he pointed out not only just what I just recently sent, but this was pretty obvious, this notary. These were channel letter faces we sent. They were looking like this. Yeah. So, you know, you can see pretty flat. So I knew that it had something to do with the new Corel, which I'm the only one on it right now, because my 2021 decided to literally just crash so bad that I had to remove it. And then Corel being Corel, you go on their website, they're like, you don't want the old stuff, you want the new stuff. And that was really the only way I could get cracking again. And I was having problems with 2021, so I was happy with this new version. But much like the science fiction horror movie where the spacecraft's out there, in the first act, I should have listened because we had the moment where the scientist goes to the captain and says, you know, the strange egg we picked up on the planet we were just on is now acting very strangely. What do we want to do? And the captain says, no big deal. Keep an eye on it. You know, everything will be fine. So about a month ago, I had sent my first DXFs through 2022, which I just upgraded. And as you may or may not know, you know, I do all of my exports just basically through my exporter home. So I just, you know, create the file here, do all that. And then I just push this button here, DXF. And that's what I've been doing since Corel 16, 17, 18, 19, you know, and everything's fine. So here I am, I push export DXF, but now Jose, the router guy, is going, you know, you sent me this file, everything's fine. But if you look, everything's broken apart like that, you know? And I'm like, okay. I can't explain that. And you can see the O is together. So I kind of was like, all right, so what's different? So like an animal, I hit select and I went to export, and this is in 2022. And you go to DXF and the dialog pops up that they added this. This wasn't in 2021 and a half or anything previous. It says export curves as polycurves or splines. Now, I didn't know anything about this. So, of course, you just hit the Googs. And, you know, DXF and DWG are proprietary formats for Autodesk, AutoCAD, things like that. It has to do with 3D stuff. So there's two-dimensional splines, three-dimensional splines, and then there's polylines. Now, Corel's calling them polycurves. So basically, you get two choices with the new Corel. You either do splines or you do polylines. Now, the cursory quick, you know, I was just like, all right, you know, I'll take a look at it. I found the solution that if I switched it to polylines, then everything stayed the way it was supposed to stay. Everything stays together. And that's great. That's what we wanted. And so, you know, Jose's like, thumbs up. Everything's fine. It looks great. Appreciate it. Now, even with the splines, he said it wasn't that big a deal. He was able to, you know, select and recombine everything on his side. But it was just strange. You know, the egg was exhibiting strange behavior. I just thought I'd let you know. Well, now, come to find out, because I didn't know any better or whatever, this is what polylines do. So, you know, he showed me the routed out part, and it was like horrible. So but the problem is I didn't have 2021 anymore on my computer. So today I had to wrestle with Corel. It was so difficult. I mean, look at all the installers I had to download. You know, these are all the installers right here. It destroyed my desktop. Yeah. But these are all the different 2021 trial versions. I had to try to get one that worked. I tried this Corel standard 2021. This version doesn't let you export DXF or DWG. So that was blown out of the water. So once I was able to finally, after like 2 hours, get 2021 back. So I have 2021 and a half back. It's working. Yes. We have lived in ignorant blissful ignorance about this, that when you do a DXF in anything lower than 2022, you can see where there's nothing about polylines or splines, and we just blissfully push the button, and then we go, did you bring your lunch? And then we head off to, off to Panera, because everything exports perfectly. So the P.S.A. is for all, for the love of all that's holy, hold on to 2021.5 with everything you got, white knuckle, don't, until we can figure something out. So going forward, if let's just say eventually we might have to go to 2022. Now, there's multiple things about this. 2022, this could be a glitch. That might be something they have to fix with Polyline. So now drilling further into the interwebs and going on forums about 3D stuff, yes, this is what polylines do. People's workflows are kind of ridiculous. They're taking the splines that's all broken apart, like this. They're exporting this out, putting into a third-party freebie thing that then kicks it back out. It's crazy. Now, the number one thing we need to do is we have to keep our layers. So whatever we export out is important to keep layers. We can't go backwards on that. So it's just going to be a matter of trying to try different formats with Jose and just kind of playing tennis, going back and forth and see, try. Now we could go .ai. I know we used to do .ai even before I started working here. And I know the rest of the industry uses .ai. But whether or not you can export .ais, I tried a .ai, but the export, here, I tried some .ais here, but importing, like reopening those, I didn't have the layers. So whether or not we can force layers, I went ahead and dug under the hood a little bit, and I was able to find in the program side of things, when you export, I could write code that if you see struct export options here, this says maintain layers. You can turn that on and off. But whether that applies to a .ai, I don't know. So when you go up here to document, and then you go to export right here. So this right here, the CDR filter, you select .ai, and then here is where you would tell it keep your layers. But whether this will actually make it do that, I don't know. So it's going to take some experimentation on my part. But again, I'm not saying we need to do this right now. This is just stay on 2021 and a half, or late or earlier. It was funny because it took me like 2 hours to get 2021. I was able to actually reinstall 2018, like version 20, whatever, in a matter of minutes, because, there was the serial number, you go to Corel, you find it. I downloaded it, dumped in the serial number, and here's 2018. I'm back. So I don't think we want to go back this far, but it's kind of funny. So I have 2018, I got 2021. All of those import and export DXFs perfectly. It is definitely 2022. So again, whether or not Corel 2022 added this functionality because Autodesk changed something about, their stuff, or they just thought they were being helpful by adding this to the export, adding this to this, and thought that maybe that was what it was supposed to be, or maybe other people were asking for it, but it essentially just breaks our DXF engine. So like I said, we're going to have to figure out a workflow going forward that works for all of us, but we can't lose layers, and we just got to keep going, the way we're rolling, keeping it fast and stuff. So, and we definitely can't drop Corel because we all know Corel. So I can't lose my macros. Come on now. So anyway, just a heads up, just keep going on 2021 and a half till we figure something out.